What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video. And in this one, I want to talk about what's going on with the overall market and break down the charts thus far. I also want to talk about something very important, the economic calendar coming out for tomorrow, and give you guys a very quick warning about it before I break down the charts. But before I break anything down, all this information, before I get into any more details, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks, and the offer ends very soon. Anyways, when it comes to SPY, we have this very strong uptrend that is perpetuating, and we got above our resistance at 501, approaching 502. And this looks to me like it's going to try to push higher from a technical standpoint. We're about to fill this imbalance right over here, which is very close to 502, and we are showing a lot of life. But I do have a warning for everyone about tomorrow that could affect this rally, so please be prepared for this. Tomorrow morning, an hour before the market opens, we have the PPI report coming out. PPI month over month is coming out, core PPI, and we also have the other metrics of PPI. We also have Barr from the Fed giving a speech. Then we have the Michigan Consumer Sentiment Reports at 10 a.m., followed by Daly from the Fed giving a speech. So we have quite a bit of data tomorrow, especially PPI in the morning. PPI is not as impactful as CPI, but on paper, it is supposed to be a leading indicator of CPI. So it could still affect, excuse me, it could still affect the markets. So just be prepared for that. Be very careful. Now, the thing is, as of recent, PPI has been coming in decently, but CPI has come in a little hot, at least on some metrics such as core CPI. So it's not perfect. I want to make that clear. It hasn't been perfect for the last couple of months, but it still can affect the market. So just to be safe, make sure you're prepared for that. So whether or not the market pumps could depend on PPI. If you want to hold overnight through it, you could, and you might still make good money as the market looks bullish. But if you don't want to do it, I would still be very careful. Now, what's the best thing to do if you're kind of uncertain? The best thing to do would be, and I'm not giving financial advice when I say this, but what I would do is I would just manage risks very well. So if I were to play this overnight and keep on holding calls, I would just manage my risks, be very patient, and wait and not risk way too much or too high of a percentage of my portfolio. I would just be very careful with that. But you could still play this, make good money. The chart does look bullish nonetheless. So although PPI is another factor, let me just call out that right now the chart looks very bullish. Got a nice break from this consolidation that was forming right here. The market was very tight and indecisive, but I did tell everyone that we have potential to go up to 501. And SPY didn't just get there, we actually broke past that. And there's not a whole lot of resistance here. The 502 resistance is not that tough. That's where this imbalance is. It could keep going and go up to 503.5. We could see it retest the high, and we'll have to see what it does after that. Do we reject off the high again, or do we try to break past it? That we'll just have to wait and see. But once again, SPY is bullish. Nice move to the upside. We'll see how it goes from there. For Tesla, we're bullish. We have broken this resistance. I told you if we broke this, we could keep going. Our next target is going to be close to 200. I was thinking that this could form either a cup and handle unless we broke this, we'd break out. Instead, we got this very explosive move thanks to the big news involving Elon Musk and also more good news. So Tesla's looking very strong. We're at the 198 zone right here. We tend to see chop historically, at least around this 197.5 area. We're actually above that, breaking above our key EMA. So I could see this thing reaching 200. It looks very strong this far. If you reject, watch support at this previous high now. This is going to become a new support at 195. Thus far, we're holding up and we're showing a lot of life. So let's see if this continues to push. I'm hoping we get to 200 very soon. If it breaks 200, 202.5 is coming next, followed by higher levels. As of right now, it's pushing and it's looking pretty darn strong. So look for Tesla to continue to break out, especially going into tomorrow. PPI could affect it to some extent. I'm not too sure what it's going to be, but what I will tell you is that the chart still looks strong. How about the QQQ? How is the QQQ looking of all things? In my opinion, this is looking pretty decent thus far. So this is resembling, and I called this out earlier, a cup and handle like formation. We're holding up, we're on a very nice uptrend, right? Making a higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low. Could be essentially being made right here for this higher high. So I think that with this cup and handle, technically speaking, this imbalance right here, this is around 436.75 could be our next target. And if it breaks that, 438 is next, and 440, the all-time high could be back. This looks bullish. It looks bullish. There's no other way for me to put it. The market's looking very strong, and we could continue to push, especially for tomorrow. I still want to warn you to be careful because of PPI. You never know what could happen. But just know we are looking very strong once again. When the market got that big rug pull after CPI, you know, it just caused a temporary drop for about a couple of days, but the market is rebounding. So with that being said, excuse me, guys, I apologize. We look like we can push higher on the QQQ. Watch support right here at 434. If we lose that, our next target is 432. But overall, the chart is strong. It's still trying to hold up. Resistance is kind of tough at 435. It does look like it could break this. So it's still holding up nicely, and we're going to be watching to see if that ends up being the case. For Nvda, Nvidia is consolidating, getting tighter and tighter and tighter, and a very big move is coming. Now, looking at this trend, we formed a very nice cup here. We failed to get a breakout, but we're still holding up nicely. To be excuse me, to be bullish, you want to see this thing essentially break past 740, break 742, which is this high here, then eventually 745, and that's going to help us really break out. To be bearish, you want to see this thing lose 725 and then 720. As of right now, we're holding up nicely and we could push up. So wait and see. This is still favoring bulls slightly more because we actually established a higher low, right? Because first off, we were higher than where this wick is right here. We're also above this high we made from earlier. I'm sorry, we're above the low we made from earlier in the morning. And Nvidia is still consolidating in a nice place compared to where it was a couple of days ago. So it's on an uptrend, technically speaking. We have tight resistance at the 740 area, but it could keep pushing. It could keep pushing. It has potential. This could be a nice little bounce formation that's forming. And I think that there is definitely potential for it to push higher. So we're going to be watching to see if we can get a rebound above 740, 742, and 745 or 750. Now, what about Aapl? Like I said earlier, Aapl is looking kind of weak. If you look at Aapl, it's been downtrending. We're failing to hold 182.5. We're barely at 182. If we lose this, 181 is going to be our next critical support. And then below that, 180 is going to be the notorious level. So still looking relatively weak. Watch 182.5 as resistance. If we break that, watch 183.5. But we haven't been able to hold above that quite yet. So we're still favoring the bears slightly more. So be careful with Aapl, guys. Aapl is still kind of weak after the big news that just came out. But we're going to be watching to see if this thing could bounce soon or where it tries to base. So that's like a very important saying I once heard. The saying goes, wait for the market to base. And that's what I recommend doing for Aapl. So that being said, guys, thank you all so much for listening. If you want to hold calls or something like that overnight, it's your choice. It's your choice, of course. But please note that if you're not trading futures, uh, if you're trading options, most brokerages will not let you exit the positions till after the market opens tomorrow. And then, the PPI report is going to be out by then. So who knows what that's going to cause? Will the market gap down? Will it gap up? We'll just have to wait and see. I'll be back tomorrow morning to talk about it. So just be patient. So be careful with PPI, manage risks, and do what you have to do, guys. I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you for listening, and peace out.